This is Motoring Today, and I am Butch Gamboa, welcoming you all to our annual year-end special, where we review the year that was in motoring. 2017 may not have been as rosy as long-suffering motorists and commuters would have liked, but there were a lot of positives to be gained from the events, happenings, and developments in both private and government sectors in the year that's about to end. And we here at Motoring Today would like to focus on things that give us optimism that 2017 was the year that leads us to a better new year in 2018. Now that we take our first break for reported messages, we are optimistic you'll still be here when we return with our review of the first quarter of the year that was in motoring. I shall be right back.
This Motoring Today year-end special is brought to you by Honda, Hyundai, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, Toyota, Prudential Guarantee, and Campi, Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines.
So there I was, standing on top of the world. But then I asked myself, what lies beyond success? I wanted to give back, be a force of change. I dream of a place where children can realize their potential, to live and love life, be kings and queens, and fight for their dreams.
The city can be desolate. Tucson.
When you sweat to be sweet and you clean car seat, it's love. When you try to look cool but you look like a fool, it's love. It's love. It's love.
Show your love with the new features of the all-new Innova. Love the journey.
See the horizon as a starting point. Use each obstacle to gain momentum. Make the unknown routine. Continue where all others stop. New Peugeot SUV range. Never have SUVs gone so far.
Welcome back to Motoring Today's annual special on the year that was in motoring. If anything, 2017 started with lots of hope among motorists and commuters alike for things to change for the better.
2017 started off with a sense of optimism of transport officials and agencies looking to better serve the public. Over at the Land Transportation Office, the focus was on the improvement of the process of licensing drivers, fixing the fixer problem, and looking to implement the improvements implemented nationwide.
2017 may also be the year that the LTO and the Transport Department finally being able to make the motor vehicle inspection system truly a relevant part of making land transport safe and efficient. The LTO is leaning to privatizing the implementation of the MVIS for certifying public transport unit and private vehicles. But some, including former government transport official and consultant Bert Swansing, now president of the Confederation of Truckers Association of the Philippines, are wary of privatizing such public services, especially after the experience with private emission testing centers.
As an interim solution to the problem of lack of proper license plates, identifying brand new registered vehicles, the LTO set guidelines, including what are to be included in temporary license plates and the size and kind of font to be used.
At the Metro Manila Development Authority, the optimism comes across from knowing that the MMDA will continue to come up with new policies, new ideas, or regurgitate old ideas as new, with quaint acronyms or phrases to introduce them to the public. An example is the nose in, nose out policy for how buses go in and out terminals along EDSA, part of the never-ending search for solutions to keep EDSA traffic moving at a pace beyond snail-like. Adding to the good vibes emanating from the MMDA is a report of a private donation of handheld radios for use of traffic constables on the street.
Although it had to put a positive spin to efforts to introduce a called zipper lane on EDSA following a dry run that was not quite the success that the MMDA wanted it to be in easing congestion on parts of the metro's main thoroughfare.
MMDA has also been talking to truckers to get their cooperation in helping solve traffic congestion while ensuring a more efficient transport of distribution of goods and commodities. And not only talking, the MMDA was amenable to provide an additional express lane for truckers on some major thoroughfares for their nighttime operations. In return, the MMDA encouraged the truckers to shift more of their operations to the night. Truckers said cargo owners should also be consulted on this.
A sense of optimism, real or cosmetic, also seemed to rise out of all the negativity that has plagued mass transport. The Metro Rail Transit Line 3 is looking at 2017 as a year to see more trains running at quicker intervals. While hampered by the same problems plaguing the MRT3 and the LRT Line 1, the Light Rail Transit Line 2 under newly appointed Administrator Rogelio Beroya appears to be taking positive steps to keep services efficient, looking forward to bidding out a maintenance service contract at the completion and turnover of the planned 4-kilometer extension to Masinag in Antipolo. The Philippine National Railways under Chairman Roberto Lastimoso looks to be back on track to improving its services, adding to refurbished locomotives and to add more trains to its rolling stocks.
Department of Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade managed to get Hans C. and Jeffrey Lim of SM Philippines, Ramon Ang and Lorenzo Formoso of SMC, Jaime Zobel de Ayala and Bernard Vicent D. of the North Triangle Depot Commercial Corporation, Manny V. Pangilinan and Rogelio Singson of the Light Rail Manila Corporation to sign a memorandum of agreement that would pave the way for the construction of the long-delayed common station linking the MRT-3 to the Light Rail Transport Line 1, the MRT-3 and the Metro Rail Transit Line 7. The agreement sets out design parameters and the timetable for finalizing the engineering design and the construction of the common station itself. But like dark night following bright day, a member of Congress came out to question some of the design parameters and their added cost to the government.
That more and more people are embracing the use of electric-powered vehicles can be seen as a positive development. In Quezon City, the local government is moving to replace gas-fed tricycles to battery-powered ones. It is even pilot testing a project to confirm the feasibility of operating electric tricycles. Meanwhile, more and more motorists are complaining of the rise in use of 2- and 3-wheeled vehicles powered by batteries. Slow and mostly ridden by people who ignore normal traffic regulations and signs, they are seen as dangerous to other motorists. But a good sign is the LTO acknowledging the need to have such vehicles registered and riders to have licenses to take them on the road.
Transport officials are also seeing point-to-point or P2P bus services as a good complement to mass transport and are opening up more routes for such services that many commuters are discovering as more convenient and comfortable in metro commute. Another positive sign in the first quarter of the year is the opening of a segment of what is called the Laguna Lake Highway, a major 9-kilometer road linking Taytay in Rizal to Bicutan in Taguig. The Public Works officials hope will help ease traffic congestion in C5 and EDSA by providing an alternate route to motorists going north to south or vice versa, and it's a scenic route too.
The Department of Public Works and Highways under Secretary Mark Villar has been quite visible early in the year in opening completed road projects to motorists, leading groundbreaking ceremonies for new ones, while his department continues to work hard at solving right-of-way problems that hinder completion of projects already well underway. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board appears to be saying all the right things about helping online ride-hailing service providers like Uber and Grab to continue to legalize their operations under the newly classified Transport Network Companies, or TNCs, that provide Transportation Network Vehicle Services, or TNVS. However, early in the year, many Uber and Grab units were reportedly caught in LTFRB's campaign to catch so-called colorum transport vehicles on the road.
Local government units in Metro Manila are taking a more positive and direct hand in keeping traffic in their streets safe and moving. One such city was Mandaluyong, which employed new one-way schemes and strict enforcement of traffic regulations, including obstruction, illegal parking, no U-turn, and disregarding of signages.
Amid the optimism and positive developments in the first quarter of the year are hints of negativism coming from the usual sectors. Jeepney transport groups like Piston are back again to opposing government's plan to help modernize this antiquated transport mode, which they see as a phase-out of their sector. Although other groups like the Pasang Mazda appear to be amenable to availing themselves of government financial support to swap their old and dilapidated units to new, safe, and more environment-friendly vehicles. The LTFRB under Chairman Martin B. Delgra III is hard-pressed at clarifying that modernization does not mean a phase-out, while some transport groups can seem to wean themselves from the bad habit of holding transport strikes whenever they feel aggrieved or neglected.
Motoring Today believes the positive outweighed the negative in the first quarter of the year that was in motoring. What about the second quarter? Find out when we return after this short break.
This Motoring Today year-end special is brought to you by Honda, Hyundai, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, Toyota, Prudential Guarantee, and Campi, Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines.
For those who command respect. For those unrivaled in their field. For those who see the world differently. For you. The bigger, better, faster, stronger, all-new Fortuner. Own your world.
are back with our Motoring Today year-end special, looking into the events and issues that affected motorists and motoring in 2017. Earlier, we reviewed the first 3 months of the year with optimism as the underlying theme of the quarter. Now we continue with the next 3 months of the year that was in motoring.
The sense of optimism appears to continue well into the second quarter of the year. This is particularly true in the rail transport sector. The Philippine National Railways unveiled a number of projects aimed at extending its reach northward, starting with a plan to establish a commuter service link from Tutuban to Malolos with a 35-kilometer double-tracked elevated line with 10 stations, and using a 13 brand-new train sets with 8 coaches each. The commuter train service to Malolos will then be extended to Clark and Pampanga with the construction of a 67-kilometer elevated two-way railway line. A railway line in Mindanao that links Zamboanga to other parts of the island is also in the works, with construction of the railroad tracks to begin before the end of the term of President Duterte, who espoused the project.
Also looking to extend its commuter service for commuters on the eastern side of the metro is the Light Rail Transit Line 2. With a 4-kilometer track from Santolan to Masinag Junction in Antipolo, 9 billion peso project being undertaken with the Japan International Cooperation Agency. Another extension project to service commuters on the western side is also in the pipeline. The LRT2 also established what it calls the Passenger Assist Rail Display System that will, among other benefits, provide commuters real-time information on train locations, arrival and departure time, as well as news and entertainment. This is being done at zero cost to the government through systems developer TrackMate Business Solutions.
The Land Transportation Office appears to be motivated to make improvements which could immediately be felt by the motoring public. While the problem of undelivered license plates and stickers is mired in the courts, the LTO is looking outside of the box for solutions. That is allowing the use of alphanumerics of conduction stickers as temporary identification of vehicles sold and registered with the agency. The LTO also moved to ensure driving schools are turning out properly educated and adequately skilled drivers by certifying driver instruction and requiring driving schools to have simulators and test tracks where students can hone basic skills before going on public roads. The agency also moved to have separate written and practical tests for applicants for non-professional and professional driver's licenses.
Over at the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, the focus is on modernizing the land transport sector. 2 major programs are to be implemented: the PUV Modernization Program and the institution of the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines. The former aims to remove old, dilapidated, and no longer roadworthy public utility vehicles from the roads. The latter aims to rationalize the number of franchises and operations in routes to ensure transportation needs are met while helping make them profitable for operators and drivers. The LTFRB has also begun working with the Technical Skills Education and Development Authority to develop an evaluation system for public utility vehicle drivers. This will be called the Drivers Academy.
Meanwhile, the Department of Transportation reveals that it is updating the Philippine Road Safety Action Plan, which was launched back in 2011. At the same time, DOTR announced that implementing rules and regulations have been finalized for the Road Speed Limiter Act of 2016 that would rid the streets of speeding buses. Another positive step is the implementation by the DOTR of the Children's Safety on Motorcycles law that would prohibit two-wheeled motorcycles to be ridden with a small child on board. Emphasizing that the DOTR is finally serious about making motorist transport safety a priority, the department is building a nationwide databank to record all traffic incidents. The databank is called Data for Road Incident Visualization, Evaluation, and Reporting, or the Driver System, which will be used for data collection, analysis, and reporting of traffic incidents. Proponents believe Driver will support the DOTR and other concerned government agencies, including LGUs, in making evidence-based decisions regarding traffic and safety.
The Department of Public Works and Highways is also continuing efforts to make the year 2017 a positive year for motoring and motorists, proposing the construction of the Santa Monica to Lawton Bridge to connect Bonifacio Global City to Ortigas. The DPWH also began efforts to widening the Napidan Bridge 2 along C6 and the Barkadahan Bridge in Taytay, Rizal. The DPWH this complements the construction of the 10.7-kilometer Laguna Lake Highway project.
In Quezon City, motorists are now enjoying the benefits of a wider Commonwealth Avenue. With more lanes on the southbound portion, work to widen the major thoroughfares also benefited pedestrians who enjoy wider sidewalks. Motorists who have been enjoying faster, safer, and more conveniently highways north and south of Metro Manila can also look forward to more kilometers of world-class tollways. The Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation is lining up more public-private partnership projects while facilitating the implementation of those already in the pipeline, including the NLEX-SLEX Connector Road, the Cavite-Laguna Expressway or CALEX, and the Cavite C5 South Link that links expressways in the north and the south.
In the Visayas, the Cebu-Cordova Linked Expressway has also started construction. Of course, tollways expansion and improvement comes with a cost. The Toll Regulatory Board is looking at several petitions for toll increases from operators of major expressway, including the NLEX, SCTEX, and the Cavitex. And pretty soon, toll collection will be integrated among expressways that are linked, making for more seamless motoring. Tollway operators are finding innovative ways to help it fund improvement and maintenance efforts, including entering into naming rights agreements with private corporations. It also could be a fun way for motorists to identify landmarks. Soon, motorists will be calling the NLEX San Fernando Interchange as San Fernando Pampanga's Best.
Local governments are helping boost optimism for a more environment-friendly mass transport network. Muntinlupa confirmed its moniker as the e-jeepney capital of the Philippines by helping build awareness for the use of e-jeepneys by offering free rides to bona fide yellow card-bearing residents of the city. The city is also setting a good example for LGUs by strictly implementing the helmet law on motorcycle riders, apprehending 500 to 600 violators a month, clamping down on illegal parking and construction.
Also paving the way for better enforcement of traffic regulation is the City of Manila, which has begun to have frontline members of the Manila Traffic and Parking Bureau wear body cameras. City Mayor Erap Estrada hopes body cameras will reduce corruption and ensure traffic regulations are enforced strictly and properly. Estrada earlier fired 690 MTPB members for corruption. The City of Manila is also among LGUs espousing the use of electric-powered vehicles for mass transports. Manila is concentrating on the use of quiet e-tricycles to replace the noisy gasoline-powered trikes seemingly running rampant in the city. Mayor Estrada distributed the first 50 e-trikes to beneficiaries of its e-trike livelihood program in Binondo.
Meanwhile, Quezon City is boosting the training of barangay volunteers on effective traffic management. After the training, consisting of 15 days classroom teachings and 2 months on-the-field training, the volunteers will be deputized to enforce traffic regulations and apprehend violators.
Private groups are also helping improve mass transport. The UBE Express and Ayala Malls at the Ayala Center Estate Association are coordinating to provide convenient bus transports from participating malls and hotels in Makati to and from NAIA airport terminals. Frolic Tours Incorporated, among the pioneers of the point-to-point bus service, is leading the way towards the introduction of high-tech buses, including 2-decker buses called the Neoplan Skyliner. Among those to benefit from the introduction of the Skyliner are tenants, stakeholders, visitors, and residents of the Central Bay District, and they can get to be shuttled around the Central Bay District for free.
A group calling itself Imagine Law came out to help the DOTR and concerned government agencies to make the roads safer with focus on the strict enforcement of speed limits nationwide. Imagine Law started by helping make LGUs aware of the dangers of speeding and identifying roads and areas at risk of accidents in localities. But inevitably, everything was not all positive in second quarter of 2017. The implementation of the Anti-Distracted Driving Act meant to make it safer by banning drivers from using gadgets and mobile phones while behind the wheel became a major distraction for motorists. There were concerns about the implementing rules and regulations which many felt were either unwarranted, ill thought out, ambiguous, or overreached the objectives of the law. Enforcement was either uneven or bordered on abuse and extortion. Congress had to step in and ordered implementation to be suspended pending holding of public consultations and recrafting of the IRR.
In the Senate, a bill has been filed seeking to make it mandatory for government vehicles and public utility vehicles to have dash cam. Dash cams have become a popular accessory for private vehicles whose owners have found dash cam recordings useful in sorting out blame for accidents and protection against extortionists disguised as traffic rules enforcers on the road. Senator J.V. Ejercito, major sponsor of the bill, believes mandatory installation of dash cams will be a boon to road safety.
The thing that jumped out at us in the second quarter was how some groups in the private sector stepped up big time with initiatives to help make life a little bit better for motorists and commuters, some quite positive indeed. When we return, we'll move on to the third quarter of the positive year that was in motoring.
This Motoring Today year-end special is brought to you by Honda, Hyundai, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, Toyota, Prudential Guarantee, and Campi, Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines.
Happiness. Happiness times 7. The all-new Honda Mobilio. Ease of use. Flexible interior for your various needs. Convenient features. Advanced technology. Powerful engine. Fuel efficient for a smooth journey. And sleek design for you. The all-new Honda Mobilio.
The city can be desolate. Tucson.
Think you're tough? Do you dare to go off-road? Or off-key? Do you use your great power with great control? With the new Isuzu D-Max, you're tough enough to be unstoppable. And you're tough enough to be right back. Isuzu D-Max, tough enough for anything.
Welcome back to our year-end special that takes a look at what happened in 2017 that in some way affected our motoring and commuting experience. We've finished reviewing the first half of the year, which we are happy to note made us believe things are getting better, if not immediately, in the near future.
Things may not be as many motorists would like them to be in 2017, but many things began in the year that could make things better in the future. In the third quarter of the year, motorists learned about the groundbreaking rights for the construction of the 18-kilometer Laguna section of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway, aka the CALEX, a 45-kilometer tollway that will connect several eco-zones in Cavite and Laguna. When completed in 2020, the CALEX awarded to MPCALA Holdings, or MP Cala Holdings Incorporated of the Metro Pacific Group, is expected to provide an efficient road network for motorists, commuters, and goods within the eco-zones and maybe ease traffic woes now being experienced in and out of the zones.
On-road infrastructure development that should benefit motorists in Metro Manila, as well as cargo haulers in the Harbor Link project of the NLEX Corporation. Groundbreaking ceremonies were held for Segment 10 of the project, which aims to provide direct access to the port area from the NLEX. The 2.6-kilometer Segment 10 is expected to be completed by December of 2018.
Groundbreaking ceremonies were also held for the construction of the BGC Ortigas Link Road, which will connect the Ortigas Central Business District to the Bonifacio Global City in Taguig. Part of this project is a construction of a bridge that will connect Lawton Avenue in Makati to Santa Monica Street in Pasig City, as well as a viaduct traversing Lawton Avenue leading to the entrance of BGC.
People are also discovering that electric-powered vehicles may form a major part of the future of personal and mass transport. This many learned from visiting, reading, or watching reports about the first ASEAN Electric and Hybrid Vehicle Summit hosted by the Philippines and the World Trade Center in Pasay City. The summit, organized by the Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines, the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines Incorporated, and the Manila Electric Company or Meralco, hopes the exhibits and the discussion at the summit will raise public awareness and support for the introduction of electric vehicles for mass transport, as well as to come up with ways to encourage people to buy and use electric cars. The timing of the Electric Vehicle Summit is perfect as people also hear of the LTFRB finally launching the PUV modernization program in the third quarter of 2017. The local electric vehicle industry is pushing for government to encourage a shift to the use of e-jeepneys and e-tricycles as part of the modernization program.
The PUV modernization program is tied to the issuance of the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines. Local government units will play a major role in the modernization program as they are tasked to draw up a local transport plan to identify public transport needs and routes. The LTP will become the basis for the LTFRB opening up routes and the issuance of new franchises. It was not a surprise that transport groups mobilized to hold what is called traffic holidays to protest against the modernization program. The jeepney sector was the most vocal, equating modernization to a phase-out. However, the protest seemed to not faze transport authorities who continue to push modernization as a way to make our mass transport system more efficient with much smaller carbon footprint.
Also affected by the modernization program is the trucking sector, which finds itself among those affected by government's move to remove public utility vehicles 15-year-old and above from streets and highways. As part of this transport modernization program, the DOTR and the Development Bank of the Philippines signed a memorandum of understanding to provide affordable loan instruments to operators and drivers looking to acquire new PUVs. An offshoot of this MOU is the launch of the program assistance to support alternative driving approaches, or PASADA, which offers reasonable financing for transport corporations and cooperatives to allow them to acquire new and passenger-safe PUVs.
In the third quarter of the year, the Philippine National Railway fleshed out its plan to establish a commuter train service from Manila to Clark in Pampanga. PNR Chairman Roberto Lastimoso reveals that the state-owned railway will establish a 106-kilometer railway line from Tutuman in Manila to Clark in Pampanga. Construction of the railroad line will begin in 2018 and be completed in 2021.
The third quarter sees the launch of the Drivers Academy, a program aimed at ensuring public utility drivers know and understand traffic rules and regulations and signs and the importance of obeying them. Beginning in July, all PUV drivers are to undergo retraining and evaluation under the Drivers Academy. After undergoing the training, they will have to pass a test in order to be certificated to continue working as a PUV driver.
While the MMDA and transport authorities have been implementing the so-called contactless apprehension scheme using video, photo, or CCTV evidence for recording and issuing citations for violations, the De La Salle University is developing what it calls the contactless apprehension of traffic violators on a 24-hour basis, an all-vehicle detection system, or catch-all. It's a software to help authorities implement the contactless apprehension scheme by easily identifying vehicles and classifying their violations on the road.
Not quite as positive a development, at least to motor vehicle owners, is the MMDA airing a proposal to expand the number coding scheme to reduce traffic on the road, which would result in a vehicle, both private or public utility, not being allowed on the streets at least twice in a week. There was, inevitably, violent reactions from the public. Transport groups are among those opposing the proposal, which would effectively mean PUV drivers wouldn't be able to earn on 2 days of the work week, a huge cut in their income. After getting a lot of heat in social and other media over the coding proposal, the MMDA got some love in return for turning the heat on 9 recalcitrant bus terminals on EDSA, which, among things, ignored the administration's nose-in, nose-out directive. These terminals also failed to comply a number of requirements MMDA sought for them to continue operating from where they are.
Maybe the buses affected by the closing of the terminals on EDSA can move their terminal operations over to the BFCT East Transfer Terminal in Marikina, which opened in the third quarter of the year with the blessing of the DOTR and the Marikina City Government. The terminal complements efforts of government to establish intermodal transport hubs in the periphery of Metro Manila to help decongest traffic in the metropolis.
The Land Transportation Office is looking to upgrade its IT system to allow, among other objectives, for online processing of license applications and vehicle registration. The LTO said the enhancement of the IT system is also aimed at improving services, promoting transparency, and preventing corruption, as well as allow for sharing its database with other government agencies. The LTO can look no further for help in this than the Department of Transportation, which has entered into agreement with the Singapore Cooperation Enterprise on developing an intelligent transport system. The DOTR is looking to benefit from Singapore's best practices in traffic and transport management.
Also looking to upgrade its system is the Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, which has partnered with PayMaya Philippines to provide a cashless or electronic toll collection system. This partnership is expected to benefit motorists regularly using the NLEX, Cavitex, and the SC-Tex. No more entering the tollways and then finding you don't have the cash on hand. The MPTC PayMaya Accord dovetails perfectly with the Memorandum of Agreement seeking to mandate toll road operators to unify or integrate their collection system entered into by the DOTR, the DPWH, the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, and the LTO.
Perhaps the most significant act of the Department of Transportation is the relocation of its central office to Clark in Pampanga. The DOTR made every effort to make the relocation as painlessly as possible for affected employees. However, how the move will affect public service is still not known.
Road safety advocacy groups continue to be active in the third quarter of the year in widening awareness of the need to take action to reduce road accidents and fatalities. The Philippine Global Road Safety Partnership has partnered with Volkswagen Philippines to educate children on the importance of knowing and obeying road signs. The PGRSP also works with local communities to help carry out road safety programs.
In the third quarter of the year, the LTO finally got around to issuing driver's licenses with 5-year validity, like it has been taking about much since the Duterte presidency began. The LTO began rolling out this welcome initiative in the National Capital Region with the promise of extending this to Central Luzon, the Davao region, and the rest of the country before the quarter ended.
Over at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, arriving passengers are supposed to benefit from an agreement between the LTFRB and the Manila International Airport Authority to ensure only legitimate public utility vehicles are providing legitimate transport services. Since the Duterte administration opened the airport to ordinary taxis, there have been complaints about passengers being taken advantage of by colorum public utility vehicles.
Taxi operators seem to have decided to another track in their effort to stem the tide of commuters shifting to ride-hailing or ride-sharing networks. The Philippine National Taxi Operators Association moved to launch its own ride-hailing app, the MyCab, which was first tried out in Cebu.
After reviewing the first 9 months of the year that was in motoring, the perception is strengthened that much of what government and groups in the private sector are doing will benefit motoring and motorists, if not immediately, in the near future. We'll return with more on this after a short pause. I shall be right back.
This Motoring Today year-end special is brought to you by Honda. Hyundai, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, Toyota, Prudential Guarantee, and CAMPI, Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines.
Think you're tough? Do you dare to go off-road or off-key? Do you use your great power with great control? With the new Isuzu D-Max, you're tough enough to be unstoppable. And you're tough enough to be right back. Isuzu D-Max, tough enough for anything.
Calling all automobile enthusiasts. Autofocus.com.ph is exclusive to the automobile, where you'll find reviews on the latest brand new car models, together with their head-to-head comparisons. It has the detailed specs of car models available in the country and their latest SRPs and special promos, together with the latest auto industry news and developments like car launches and test drives. Autofocus.com.ph is all about automobiles. Click on.
See the horizon as a starting point. Use each obstacle to gain momentum. Make the unknown routine. Continue where all others stop. New Peugeot SUV range. Never have SUVs gone so far.
When you sweat to be sweet and you clean par seat, it's love. When you try to look cool but you look like a fool, it's love. It's love. It's love.
Show your love with the new features of the all-new Innova. Love the journey.
Welcome back to Motoring Today Year-End Special, the year that was in motoring. We are now down to the last 3 months of the year that made us believe that our patience in waiting for government to solve our motoring problems will surely pay off.
The fourth quarter of the year, the so-called Burr months that usher in the celebration of many holidays that led up to the busiest time of the year, Christmas and New Year, sees transport and traffic authorities doing their best to ease the congestion and ensure safety in city streets and countryside roads and highways. The Interagency Council for Traffic formed what it called Task Force Alamid as a vanguard for Upland 77, the overall plan to manage traffic over the 77 days of October to December.
The MMDA also began busying itself anew, clearing obstruction from the Mabuhay lanes, secondary streets identified as alternative routes to avoid EDSA traffic, and in coordination with Quezon City traffic authorities, identified so-called Kalayaan lanes, 30 secondary and side streets in the city that can be used by motorists to avoid congestion on main thoroughfares. And helping manage traffic on main thoroughfares and alternative Mabuhay lanes are more constables who have undergone retraining under new 15-day curriculum aimed at improving not only their knowledge on traffic regulations and skills at managing traffic, but also their work attitude and discipline. It also strengthened efforts to strictly enforce the regulations on restricting the use of so-called yellow lanes on EDSA to POVs and to ensure motorcycles only use the blue lanes designated for them.
Meanwhile, MMDA continues to propose more versions of vehicle volume rejection schemes. One proposal is a rethinking of the old odd-even scheme, banning vehicles from major thoroughfares from certain hours. But immediately after the netizens get wind of the proposal, it goes viral and comments are mostly negative, forcing the MMDA to back off on the proposal.
The LTFRB is looking at a new and more proactive initiative to prevent bus accidents, more and more of which are being reported as caused by driver error. This time, it hopes limiting the hours drivers spend behind the wheel to 6 consecutive hours will help prevent accidents attributed to driver error. The idea is that after 6 hours of continuous driving, drivers tire and either easily lose concentration or their reflexes start to slow and they become prone to accidents.
The agreement on the common station for different light rail transit lines in the metro entered into between government and the captains of industry in the first quarter of the year appears to have taken hold. After years of delay and disagreements among parties competing to build and operate the common station or to have their name on the station, it looks like it will be built. Groundbreaking rites were held for the construction of the common station between SM North EDSA and Trinoma.
Another positive development for a future with efficient mass transport is the Metro Rail Transit Line 7 getting one step closer to reality. The fourth quarter of the year sees the first board pile concrete pouring for the Batasan station of the MRT 7, which will have 22 kilometers of rail track from North Avenue EDSA in Quezon City to San Jose del Monte in Bulacan. The MRT 7 will be linked to the LRT 1 and the MRT 3 at the common station.
However, things have been growing worse and worse in MRT3, service that the Department of Transportation decided to oversee its maintenance. The DOTR then met with LTFRB, LTO, and PNP Highway Patrol Group to come up measures to provide other transport options to regular MRT riders. Among the solutions implemented was to have P2P buses take on passengers at selected MRT stations during peak hours.
Something that many motorcycle owners and riders don't want to see may be enacted into law. Senators passed on the third and final reading Senate Bill number 1397, the Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act of 2017, which seeks to require motorcycles and scooters to sport larger license plates. Two of them, one in the front and the other in the back. Senators believe this will help police catch perpetrators committing various crimes using motorcycles, or at least prevent so-called ride-by crimes. Motorcycle owners just find larger license plates uncool.
Launched in the third quarter of the year by De La Salle University, Catch All or the Contactless Apprehension of Traffic Violators on a 24-hour basis, an all-vehicle direction system, an app using artificial intelligence to detect and identify vehicles committing traffic violations, was pilot tested by the MMDA along EDSA in the fourth quarter.
It may seem trivial, but the ceremonial opening of the newly installed elevators and escalators at the Recto station of the Light Rail Transit Line 2 in the fourth quarter of the year is significant. It emphasizes the thrust of the Light Rail Transit Authority to improve its services to its clientele, the long-suffering commuters. The LRTA has installed or rehabilitated 32 elevators and escalators in various stations of LRT2 and has plans for 14 more escalators to be operational next year.
The final quarter of the year also sees the holding of the first Philippine Auto Parts Expo, organized by the Philippine Parts Maker Association with support from the Department of Trade and Industry Board of Investments. The expo aims to showcase the capabilities and products of local auto part makers with the objective of helping jumpstart the development of the local commercial vehicle sector. Among exhibits are 16 locally developed eco-PUV prototypes that can be used for government's PUV modernization program. Already, transport authorities have begun to approve some PUV prototypes that meet standards set under the PUV Modernization Program. This includes electric and solar-powered PUVs able to accommodate 22 passengers in front seats with seat belts and an entrance on the right side. These units are expected to ply routes between Ayala Buendia SM Olivacia and the Southwestern Integrated Transport Terminal in Parañaque City. Transport authorities envision similar units to ply routes that have stops at stations of the MRT, LRT, and the PNR.
The DPWH was among the busiest government departments in 2017. starting the construction of new roads and bridges, opening completed sections to motorists, planning and bidding out more infrastructure projects. This is a boon to motorists, commuters, pedestrians alike. The DPWH is also looking to have road benefit bikers too, as it begins the second phase of the Laguna Lake Expressway, a project that will reduce travel time from Bicutan in Taguig to Taytay in Rizal from 1 hour to just 30 minutes on average. DPWH Secretary Mark Villar reveals that the 4-lane expressway will have an integrated bike lane. Adding to the good marks that DPWH have earned in 2017, it has also begun to use high-tech gadgets and digital age technology to ensure projects are being constructed where and as planned and within schedule. All regional and district offices are transitioning to the use of a new monitoring system called the Project and Contract Management Procedures and Applications, which have built-in geotagging feature. The department is also using drones and satellite technology to monitor project accomplishments.
Heading into the final weeks of 2017, the Department of Transportation reported the first truly intermodal transport terminal in the Philippines is nearing completion. The DOTR said commuters can expect the Southwest Integrated Terminal Exchange built on a 4-hectare lot in Parañaque to be completed in April of 2018 and to begin operations by the second quarter of next year. The MMDA has also been moving to finalize and prepare for implementation several traffic measures aimed to stop traffic congestion in the metro from worsening and to make motoring a less painful experience in 2018.
Among measures under discussion is a proposal to make EDSA and C5 one-way all the way thoroughfares. Also being discussed is a carpool lane on EDSA, which only vehicles carrying more than just a driver can use, or to restrict driver-only vehicles from going on EDSA altogether. Transport authorities will also consider the proposal of congressmen for immunity from apprehension for traffic violations.
In one of its final acts of significance in 2017, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board launched its new interactive website that says it will not only help the public deal with the agency, but also helps its processes and actions be more transparent and free from graft and corruption.
Motoring on the tollways during the days heading to the long Christmas and New Year break, many would find more lanes dedicated to digital toll collection system. This is a part of the overall plan of toll operators like the NLEX Corporation to make motoring on tollways all the more convenient, faster, and safer. This will also help in the integration of toll collection among all tollways. This is also true of tollways south of the metropolis. The SLEX and Sky has begun to integrate their toll collection process to allow for seamless travel between the two tollways. Skyway O&M Corporation revealed plans to do the same with the Star Tollways. Meanwhile, it has continued laying new asphalt overlays on sections of the SLEX, Skyway, and Star Tollways to make the going all the more smoother and safer.
Motorists have more to look forward to in the new year. This includes the completion of NLEX Harbor Link Segment 10, which is projected to be operational by the end of the first quarter of 2018. Other NLEX actions that augurs well for a better year of motorists and motoring include expansion of the Santa Ines interchange in Mabalacat, Pampanga, the construction of a new right-turning ramp towards the Mabalacat-Magalang Road, the retrofitting of the main bridge of the San Simon interchange, a plan to extend the NLEX to farther into the far boundaries of Bataan.
Well, that was the year that was in Motoring Today. We'll wrap our year-end special when we return from this final break.
This Motoring Today year-end special is brought to you by Honda, Hyundai, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, Toyota, Prudential Guarantee, and Campi, Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines.
Happiness. Happiness times 7. The all-new Honda Mobilio. Ease of use, flexible interior for your various needs, convenient features, advanced technology, powerful engine, fuel efficient for a smooth journey, and sleek design for you. The all-new Honda Mobilio.
Power of Strada. It's your sport truck.
The city can be desolate. Tucson.
For those who command respect. For those unrivaled in their field. For those who see the world differently. For you. The bigger, better, faster, stronger, all-new Fortuner. Own your world.
Your weekly window to the world of business and guide to the good life can now be watched online. Just click on businessandleisure.ph and watch this week's show and other past episodes of Business and Leisure at your most convenient time of the day. Business and Leisure is now on the web. Watch it anytime.
Welcome back to our year-end special on the year that was in motoring. For many years now, we have been reviewing moments, events, happenings, and issues that have made each year significant for motoring and motorists, as well as pedestrians, commuters, and the general public. Over the years, we've noticed that year in and year out, we have experienced, faced, and looked for and implemented solutions for the same problems: traffic woes, government inefficiency, unsafe roads, inadequate infrastructure, malfunctioning mass transport systems. This year, we decided to focus on the positive and look at everything with an optimistic attitude in the hope that we can finally break the cycle. Or maybe things are really looking positive for a change, and transport and public works authorities and many in the private sector have now laid the groundwork that would lead to a great leap in improvement towards a happier motoring and commuting experience for all in the new year and the years to come. We hope you all enjoyed our positive look at the year that was in motoring, and may we all help bring about a change for the better. And that was the year that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Until next week here on Motoring Today, now in its 31st year of continuing service to the general motoring public, with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. I'm Butch Gamboa. Happy motoring and Happy New Year!